Hey guys, Grow here with a quick tutorial on setting up a Minecraft server with Windows. Now this is effective for most operating systems. You could really use whatever you want. The only thing that would be different would be Linux, which you would actually need to run a script for. As long as you can start it, it's going to be practical. So the first thing, you're going to make a folder, call it whatever you want. Now, if you don't know where to get bukkit.jar, or the most recent craft bucket, just go to dl.bukkit.org. Now you can find the most recent, which I'm using right now, or you can use an alternate version, which usually the most recent, they never get these recommended out, which are like stable. So you have to use dev builds, is what they're called. So dev build, that's the most recent, that's this one right here. Now I'm using this because it matches the type. So what we're going to do is just open up the jar file, just double click, make sure you have the JRE installed, and then open up command prompt. So we've got command prompt open, we're going to give it a few seconds. It's just doing its thing. You can also check your performance and crap like that. It doesn't really matter to me. I think the default it's using is 1.5 gigs of RAM, just when you open it regular, or perhaps it's using all of it. I don't pretend to understand all that. So it's probably good, so I'm going to end the process. And now we have our generic folder. Now in this folder, first thing you're going to want to do is open up your server properties, and you're going to change this to your likings. If you don't know what it does, skip it. So generator, that's your terrain generation thing. I don't fully understand how that one works, but allow nether is pretty obvious. Yes, nether is on. True being yes, false meaning no, you don't want it. Level name, just leave that where it is, unless you're using multiverse and you want a different one. Enable query, you can leave that off. Flight, leave that off for sure unless you want people to use modded clients. 25565 is your default port. Level type, default. You can also use, I think, large biomes or flat. Level C doesn't really matter unless you have a specific one. I leave this one off unless you're doing a creative server. You can change it to whatever you want. Server IP, if you have a specific IP you want to use rather than just your main broadcasting IP. Max build height, leave that where it is unless you want super high or super low. Spawn NPCs, that's up to you. Whitelist, that's if you want other players to join without having to be added in whitelist.txt. Now I'm just going to give you a quick example. So say my name is Nick, but say it's like that, but my actual in-game, it shows up in lowercase n 3k or something. You'd have to type it in with the proper caps and proper spelling, and then save it and reboot the server. So spawn animals, pretty obvious. This one I turn off the snooper. There's no reason for them to get all the extra stuff. Online mode, you'd want that on unless you're doing a cracked server. PvP, that's up to you. Difficulty, that's just like easy, medium, hard. Game mode, that's forcing the game mode again. Timeout, I leave that at 0 so it doesn't kick anybody. Max players, whatever you want it to be. Spawn monsters, all this stuff. The only thing I'm going to change here is your server name. So I'm going to save that. Now we can also take a look at bukkit.yml. Now this will be for more advanced users. You can give options like, do you want people to use the end? Do you want it to say, holy shit, the server's got not enough RAM or it's exploding, do something about it, showing up on the console? That really, don't change that. I wouldn't change most of these actually. The only thing you might want to change if you're using it would be, I guess, a reverse proxy, then you'd want this to be on 0. But for the most part, I'd leave it at where it is. This one I like to change it to server is rebooting. That way people don't think that it's like legit not coming back up. Spawn limits, if you want to conserve, don't get as much lag, set that to 50. Set that one to 10. I'd leave that one at 2. And then this one you can set that to 10 as well. That means less things will spawn, but it's so much better on your resource usage. Okay. This one you can change as well, it doesn't really matter. It's just based on speed. Leave that where it is. Everything else you can just leave how it is. I wouldn't be messing around with anything else. So now that we've done that, we're done there. Now banned IPs.txt, banned players, that's where it'll show who's done what and why, which you do in your commands when you start it. So if you haven't already, now I'm assuming some people watching this are going to have different versions, not just 1.7.2 or 1.6.4. We're going to be using 1.6 for this, but it should be pretty much the same. So we'll just click play, and we'll start up the server. So I've made a thing, it's called localhost, just like that, no caps or anything. It'll log it, so when the server's finished booting, you'll be able to connect to your local server, as opposed to a different one. So here we have it. And we now have a working server. Now this doesn't cover any port forwarding. I don't like to get into that kind of stuff, but I can leave you some links if you guys still need help with that. Last thing I want to go through is permissions X, which you can find in my last tutorial, or most recent, I guess, after this one. Just wanted to get this one done so I can get onto the permissions, because I've had a bunch of people asking me about that. So what you can do right now, save -all. Oh, we don't have options. So let's kill the server. And that was it. Okay. Nope, that's it. Maybe, I don't know. Kill all the Java processes. Now you're going to want to go to ops.txt. Save that. Start it up exactly the same. And we wait. Okay, so now it's back up. Now we have options to save. And before you ever stop the server, you'll always want to do a save all. That'll just save all your chunks and everything, so you don't lose anything. Like if you notice when I logged out, I wasn't in water. That's because it didn't save the world generation. So now that I've saved it, if I were to stop the server with /stop, and then start it back up, when it's back up, I should still be in the water. Yeah, same world. There'll be a jungle and some others. Yep, exactly the same spot. So I'm not going to save any of that because it's irrelevant to me. But I will be doing a permissions, which you'll need to put in your plugins folder. I'm going to use something called permissions X. It's the easiest one to use as far as I'm concerned, and there's some pretty easy commands to go along with it, plus it supports MySQL. So we'll get on that in the next video. You can just check my channel here, doing a brand new one, so that's exciting. You can also see my other channel, which is a gaming channel. I think that's everything I have to go through here. If there's anything else, I'll add it in the next video.